What's up guys, and welcome to another Subaru Impreza GC8 2.5 RS. I've driven a number of these recently, but this one is built in a very different way than the others. The owner, Armando, said he picked this up for $5,000 during COVID, and nowadays you'd be hard pressed to find these for less than 10 grand. Full list of mods will be in the video description, but the main thing I want to point out is that this is naturally aspirated. This has the 2.5 liter EJ251 flat 4 engine. It was rated at 165 horsepower and 166 pound-feet of torque when stock. 6,500 RPM redline. We got a 5-speed manual transmission. If you recall the two examples I drove recently in that head-to-head comparison, one of them had an EJ205 JDM motor that revved to 8,000 plus RPM and made somewhere over 300 horsepower. And the other one, turbocharged North American spec engine, but it was coupled to a front-wheel drive drivetrain. This one, naturally aspirated, should mean a lot less torque steer and a lot easier to drive quickly. This is rated at only 7.8 seconds, 0 to 60 with a manual transmission. In stock form, it weighed over 2,900 pounds. The owner, Armando, said this one should be under 2,900. We have strut front and rear suspension, hydraulic power steering, and being a 2001, this is the final model year of the coupe. Before the WRX came out for the US, this 2.5 RS with no turbos was the most driver and performance focused version of the Subaru Impreza. These are such a popular platform for engine swaps, turbocharging, modifying to your heart's content, many times to model after Takumi's dad with the blue JDM GC8 STI. In terms of mods, we've got some Raceland coilovers, Whiteline sway bars, these really period correct, awesome looking Momo Corse Evo 17-inch wheels, a Perrin crankshaft pulley, Koyorad, and a V6 STI rep wing and front lip. From the exterior, the only things about this car that are not stock are actually just the lip, the wing, and the wheels. Surprisingly, this came with a hood scoop, even though it's naturally aspirated. First impressions of the interior, this one's actually very clean. We've got this felt material covering the dash, preventing it from cracking. We've got this aftermarket carbon fiber center console trim, bucket seat as well, which is very high up, very upright, but it gives me an excellent view out the front and gives me a great view of that hood scoop. Love the Momo steering wheel, 5-speed manual. It's mounted quite low, much like 90s Hondas. 360 visibility is superb. All right, unequal length headers. Let's get some Subi rumble going. Very easy to heel toe. Wow, very nice load up behavior to the steering rack. Hydraulic steering, nothing quite like it. Now 165 horsepower of the crank with this all-wheel drive system probably equates to 130-ish at the wheels, so not much power at all, but it is a light car, sub 2,900 pounds. And one of the first things I'm noticing and loving about this driving experience is because I'm seated rather high up and the windshield is so expansive, I can see really well out the front, and I have a very good sense of where the car is placed on the road. And because of that, I feel like I can just push the car so hard, so easily. I mean, we are entering these corners at a pretty surprising pace. I can just get on the power so early. No turbo lag to anticipate, it's just naturally aspirated. You get that linear throttle response. You get good torque throughout the rev range. This is not a high-strung engine by any means, 6,500 RPM redline. Now the ABS is not working, but that's okay, because this car is all about carrying momentum. There's no need for heavy braking. Limiter, I think that cut in around 6,300 RPM. this does have pretty short gearing, and it's only a 5-speed, so I imagine at highway speeds the RPMs would be quite high. Oh yeah, no torque steer at all. Partially because there's no torque, and also because of this all-wheel drive system. This is so much easier to drive quickly than that front-wheel drive 300 plus horsepower example we drove a while back. Obviously this is nowhere near as capable in terms of acceleration, but I'm having a really good time right now, just flicking this into every corner. Now these Raceland coilovers, they're not the best in terms of damping. They do feel quite soft, but they certainly don't hold the car back. I don't mind that these are budget coilovers because the car is so light. The whole point is just to throw it around. Oh yeah, really good steering, decent amount of feedback. But the main thing that's impressing me about the steering is the way it loads up in the corners. You really have a good sense of lateral G's. The shifter is easy to use. It's pretty typical Subaru, a little bit notchy. It feels just slightly fragile, if that makes sense. A little bit crunchy as you move it into each gear. The clutch is very nice. Short throw, light, easy to feel the engagement. No issues with the brakes at all on the downhill. But I just have such a good sense of, again, the front end placement and also just overall weight transfer. It's so easy to feel what this car is doing underneath me. This engine makes a great sound too. Naturally aspirated, no turbo whooshes and whistles, but you get that boxer rumble with the unequal length headers. Oh yeah, I am loving this. Do you think a higher spring rate or maybe increased damping would help here? The front end does feel like it's bottoming out. Man, what a fun little car. I drove some absolute monsters earlier this morning. Crazy track prepped E46 M3, nearly 600 wheel horsepower M2 competition. But you know what? I am enjoying this potentially more than any of those because it's just so easy to drive quickly and it's got character. It's nimble. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It just eggs you on to push harder. And the learning curve is low. The limits are low. I mean, that's pinned in third gear. It doesn't feel hopelessly slow either. It has just enough power to where you can really just lean on the mid-range combined with the all-wheel drive system to just carry tons of speed into and out of corners. Super, super fun car to drive. And it's a fairly practical little machine. Decent sized back seat, very comfortable, excellent visibility that you only get with 90s cars. A big shout out to Armando. Let me know what you think about this build. Would you go naturally aspirated? I actually came into this review with pretty low expectations just because those turbocharged GC8 examples I drove recently were just so thrilling because of the horsepower. But this one, I think, as a technical canyon car, is even more fun to drive, believe it or not. Is this the best Subaru chassis of all time if your focus is driving pleasure? Thank you guys for watching. A big shout out to Kevin from the Jabolin Cars YouTube channel for making this review possible. Go check out his channel, link in the video description, and I'll see you guys in the next one.